At 2:14 a.m., my phone buzzed with a bank alert that stole my breath. A gut punch notice. $36,842.19 vanished from my account. Poof. I bolted upright in bed, staring at the digits, willing them to shift if I squinted long enough. I'm Riley Green, and no matter where you're tuning in from, stick with me. Have you ever discovered a family secret through a cold number on a screen? That's what hit me during my 30th birthday week. I dialed my dad first. He picked up, voice on speaker, mom's laughter mingling with music in the background, as if all was well. Hey, Dad, something's off with my account. My card's maxed out. Did something happen? A beat of silence. Then his sharp tone cut through. You're always so theatrical. The family needed support. Your mom had surgery. Your brother's truck died, and the mortgage was overdue. I sat, stunned, heart racing. Why didn't you talk to me? His scoff stung. We don't need permission to take what you owe us. Then Mom's voice, dripping with casual disdain. What were you going to do? Splurge on cake and candles? You can celebrate alone. We had bigger plans. The silence that followed was my true birthday gift. I said, voice steady, don't ever call me again. And I meant it. I hung up, then dove into every account, every auto pay, every tie binding me to them. They assumed because I was the reliable one, the one who succeeded, they could tap into my life forever. That night, I became a blade, cutting cleanly. The mortgage, in my name because Mom's credit wouldn't cut it, was canceled. The truck, repossessed by midday. My bank labeled it unauthorized use. I let them freeze her student loan. My co-signature revoked under financial strain. No shouting, no warnings, just precise disconnection. I turned my hurt into forms, and their self-gifted birthday present was losing me. By morning, my phone erupted, missed calls, texts, a storm of fury, confusion, then sudden sweetness. Riley, the truck's gone. What's happening? Honey, the mortgage is in default. The bank called. Just call us. We're family. Family. That word only surfaces when their world dims. I didn't reply. I was too busy locking my credit, resetting passwords, contacting every agency to sever the lifelines they bled dry. They forgot I wasn't just generous. I was the owner, the co-signer, the guarantor, the emergency contact they treated like a credit line. They mistook my warmth for endless consent. It wasn't the $36,000 that shattered me. It was their ease, their lack of remorse, taking my birthday and twisting it into their gain, forging my trust with no hesitation. I scrolled through old texts from last Christmas. Dad, we're so proud of you, kid. Our success story. Mom, we don't say it enough, but you're our miracle. Those words once brought tears. Now they felt empty. If I was their miracle, why did they treat me like a cash machine? I severed their access with the same quiet they used to drain me. While they called, raged, pleaded, I took a deep breath. For once, I wasn't the problem solver. I was the shield, and I wasn't finished. By Friday, they showed up at my door. I watched through the peephole, Dad, flushed and pacing like he owned the place, Mom in her leopard cardigan, crocodile tears louder than the doorbell. I didn't open it. I let them yell through the door, because shouting means nothing without respect. They stood there 10 minutes, pounding, begging, threatening. Riley, you're destroying everything. We trusted you. How could you do this to family? I sat on my couch, sipping coffee from a mug they gave me 2 birthdays ago. #one daughter it read. Charming, right? I let the bell ring out. When it stopped, I opened my laptop and sent the final email to my lawyer. Full disassociation, power of attorney revoked, financial ties cut. That included the family phone plan, the Amazon Prime I'd paid for 6 years, the Hulu, Netflix, the utilities in my name, because Mom's credit was worthless. Every cord snipped. That afternoon, Mom posted a vague Facebook status, the ones you love most cut the deepest. No tags, but her friends piled on. You spoiled her too much. She owes you everything. Kids these days are so selfish. Selfish? I gave them everything, not from obligation, but because I believed in family until they turned it into a weapon. That night, I changed my number and left one last voicemail. You chose your ease over my trust. You broke what I spent years building. Rebuild without me. Then I blocked them all. No drama, no vengeance, just silence, the kind they gave me when they took my life for their convenience. And that silence was mine at last. It began with a text from my cousin Amanda. Did you really cut off your parents' gas? It's freezing, Riley. They have no heat. I stared for a minute before replying. I didn't cut it off. I just stopped footing the bill. No response, just ellipses fading to nothing. That quiet hit harder than a slap. Later, Mom emailed from a throwaway account. Subject, we didn't raise you to be this way. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. She didn't get it. They did raise me this way. Teaching me love was a transaction, loyalty a balance sheet. My worth tied to what I could pay, fix, or absorb. So when I stopped the gas, the truck, the mortgage, the loans, I was just returning their lessons. All those years of neglect masked as parenting. Dad once said, family doesn't keep score, right after I paid his second DUI fine. So I stopped keeping score and closed the account. I started therapy that month. My therapist asked, when did you first feel like you were responsible for your parents? Without hesitation, I said, at 12, when Mom cried over the electric bill and I got a job sweeping hair after school. That's when I realized I was parenting them. Now, I'd just grown up and left the kids behind. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free, because sometimes choosing yourself feels like betrayal to those who saw you only as a resource. And I was done being their ATM. The family group chat was renamed, excluding me. Threads I'd started were now used to vilify me. Amanda sent screenshots, no comment, just evidence. Riley's cold-hearted. We gave her everything, clothes, food, a home. She got successful and forgot her roots. My roots? Let me clarify. I grew up with eviction notices plastered on windows, watching Mom fake illnesses for bill extensions, Dad borrowing money and calling it my privilege to give. I came from survival and turned it into stability for us all. But they didn't want stability, they wanted control. They wanted me tethered, guilty, grateful. My success highlighted their stagnation, and when I stood firm, I was heartless, ungrateful. They forgot the dinners I funded, the Christmases I made special, the birthdays they ignored but expected me to bankroll. Amanda texted again. I know it's messy, but they're still your parents. I typed, paused, erased, then sent. If you keep breaking someone, don't be surprised when they stop coming back. I blocked the thread, muted the guilt. That night, I shared one post with my small online circle. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They make the silence livable. Within hours, messages poured in, strangers, friends, co-workers. I needed this. I've been Riley too. Thank you for saying what I couldn't. I didn't need their version of me anymore. They called me the selfish daughter, the ungrateful sister. I'd rewritten myself. This version wasn't here for forced reconciliation. She was here to live. It was a Sunday, rain pattering on my windows like a gentle caution. I lit a candle, brewed tea, and felt still for once. Then a voicemail came. Riley, it's Mom. Your dad fell, broke his leg. We're a county. No insurance. They won't operate without partial payment. We know you're angry, but this is serious. This is family. Please call back. For 3 minutes, I stared at my phone, a ticking grenade. That tone, her usual pull to drag me back into duty, no apology, just urgency. I opened a spreadsheet, checked my finances. I could cover it, but I also opened a folder labeled History. Emails, screenshots, bank statements, the time they overdrew my account without a word, the birthday they forgot while charging dinner to my card, the $36,000 they stole and called family help. Their emergency wasn't mine anymore. It was another snare wrapped in family ties. So I didn't call back. I wrote a check to myself for my peace fund. The guilt tried to creep in, but I locked it out. I texted Amanda. Tell them I hope he recovers, but I won't bleed to heal their wounds. No reply. And that silence didn't hurt. It felt like air. That night, I slept with the window cracked, phone off the nightstand. I wasn't waiting for a crisis. I was resting. Letting go of those who never valued you isn't cruelty, it's choosing life. I walked into my cousin Ava's wedding, carrying no obligation to be soft. Ava always saw me for me, not the success or the fallout. But I knew they'd be there. Mom in a dress she couldn't afford, Dad in a rented tux, leaning on a cane like it was a prop. As I entered the hall, I felt their stares. Not warmth, just scrutiny, sizing up the gap between who I was and who I'd become. I wore black satin not to grieve, but to declare I was no longer theirs to claim. I was untouchable. They didn't approach, but their look shouted, "Talk to us. Fix what you broke." I didn't waver. I sat with Ava's friends, laughed freely, danced fiercely. Joy was my rebellion. At dinner, Mom passed my table, paused, her trembling hand on my chair. "You look different," she said. I met her gaze. "I am." She started to speak, but I raised a hand. "I'm here for Ava, not you." Her eyes shimmered not with sorrow, but with the sting of losing what she discarded. I was no longer her lifeline. I was a beacon, glowing from afar. During the toast, Dad raised his glass, glancing at me, expecting a truce. I didn't blink, didn't raise mine. Peace doesn't come from ignoring the past. It comes from walking through flames and refusing to carry their ashes. I danced until my feet ached, sang until my voice gave out, left without farewells. At home, I canceled the last autopay, my childhood. It's been a year since the $36,000 theft, since the voicemail that shattered more than trust, since I stopped answering their calls and started answering my own. Guilt used to burn like an alarm in my chest. Now it's a faint hum, drowned by truth. I gave them more than money. I gave them my heart, and they treated it like an endless credit line. No more. I built my own life. An apartment, a business, friends who don't call me family to wound me slowly. This birthday, no calls, no cards, no hollow text from them. But Ava showed up with a cake, candles, and a whisper. You were never the problem. You were the first to break free. We lit the candles, didn't wish, just breathed. Healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's refusing to open the door, even when loneliness wears the mask of old love. I stopped chasing blood and chose soul. Connections that don't demand my pieces, that don't drain me to feel whole, that see me without needing something. Mom's cryptic posts continue. Dad plays victim in family gossip, but their voices don't reach me. I built walls of self-respect. I don't care what they say. I'm no longer theirs to break. I'm mine fully, finally, freely. Oh, and if you resonated with this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more stories like this.